Welcome to Stoic Horizon, where strength meets stillness and love finds you. Let's talk about something real for a second. Love, desire, and what happens when you stop chasing her. It sounds wild, maybe even a little backwards, but hear me out. The moment you stop chasing her is the moment she starts noticing you. Strange? Yeah, but true. And here's why. See, most guys are taught that if they just try harder, if they send more messages, prove their loyalty, shower her with attention, eventually she'll come around. They think effort alone will win her heart, that if they just show how much they care, she'll finally see their worth. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. The harder you chase, the more invisible you become. Not because she's cold, not because she's playing games, but because desperation feels like weakness. And weakness, it's never attractive. Now, here's the twist, and this is where it gets powerful. The second you stop needing her, when you stop waiting for her text, stop trying to fix what's broken, and start focusing on yourself again, that's when everything shifts. Suddenly, she's the one wondering, wait, did I get him wrong? Is he really over me? Did I overlook something rare? That's not a trick. That's not manipulation. That's clarity. Because when you stop seeking her validation, you start reconnecting with your own. You remember who you are, what you bring to the table. And that confidence, that quiet power, that's magnetic. Here's the truth. When you let go of needing her, she can't help but notice you. Why? Because you stopped orbiting around her and started standing in your own gravity. But this isn't just about her. It's about you, finding strength where you thought there was none, healing what you thought was broken, and walking forward with peace instead of pressure. So if you're ready to rise, not just for her, but for yourself, then let's dive deeper. Lesson 1. She expects you to chase. But you're about to change the game. She expects you to chase. So don't. Let's get real. When she starts to pull away, most men panic. It's like a switch flips. Suddenly, they're in survival mode. Rapid texts, late night calls, long messages trying to explain, trying to fix, try to hold on to something that's already slipping away. Sound familiar? It's okay if it does. You're not alone. This is what most men are taught to do. Fight for her. Prove your love. Don't let her go without a fight. But guess what? That's exactly what she expects. She's seen this movie before, and she already knows the ending. Guy falls hard. Girl pulls away. Guy panics. Girl moves on. She knows how this goes. She knows you'll be up at 2 a.m. rereading old texts, looking for clues, asking yourself what you did wrong. She knows you'll stare at your screen, waiting for a reply that never comes. She knows you'll scroll through her social media, hoping for a sign. She knows you'll be thinking about her more than you think about yourself. And here's the part you probably haven't realized yet. She doesn't want you to fix it. She doesn't want you to beg. What she really wants, what she's craving, is to feel something. And right now, she doesn't feel a thing. Why? Because you become predictable. And predictability kills attraction. She already knows how you'll react. She knows you're still emotionally tied to her. There's no mystery, no tension, no reason for her to question anything. But what happens when you do the opposite of what she expects? What happens when you don't send that text? When you don't call? When you don't chase? That's when something changes. Suddenly, she's confused. She starts asking herself questions. Wait, why isn't he reaching out? Why is he so quiet? Did I lose something I didn't appreciate? Did I misjudge him? That flicker of uncertainty, that's your power. Because uncertainty is what sparks obsession. It's what keeps people awake at night, replaying moments, wondering what went wrong, not with you, but with them. And no, this isn't about playing mind games. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about actually letting go. About realizing your worth doesn't depend on someone else's attention. When you stop chasing, you're not giving up, you're stepping up. You're breaking the cycle. You're shifting the focus from how can I win her back to how can I reclaim myself. You're learning that your value isn't something you prove with desperate gestures. It's something you own quietly and confidently. And when you do that, she starts to notice. She starts to wonder. she starts to feel. Because silence isn't empty. Not when it's coming from someone who used to care. Your silence speaks louder than your words ever could. And that, my friend, is where the transformation begins. Your silence triggers regret. Here's why that's so powerful. Let's break it down. The moment you stop chasing, the second you stop reacting to every little shift in her behavior, that's when the game changes. At first, it won't look like anything's different. She'll pretend like she doesn't care. She might post more, laughing, smiling, living her so-called best life. She'll make sure you see it. 2. But don't fall for the show. That's not confidence. That's a performance. Because here's the truth. The human mind craves what it can't have. When someone is always there, always available, always reaching out, we stop seeing their value. But when that presence disappears, when they go silent, that's when the obsession begins. And that's the power of your silence. When you stop checking in, when you stop feeding her ego with attention, when you remove yourself from her orbit, even quietly, you create scarcity. And scarcity creates value. Most men don't get this. They try to fake silence, posting vague quotes, trying to spark jealousy, pretending not to care while secretly watching her every move. That's not strength. That's not peace. That's just manipulation dressed up in insecurity. True power comes from real detachment. You don't go silent hoping she'll miss you. You go silent because you're finally done giving energy to someone who didn't choose you. You go silent because your focus has shifted from chasing her to choosing you. And here's the beautiful twist. As you begin to pour into yourself, your goals, your growth, your healing, something amazing starts to happen. You move on. You stop refreshing her profile. You stop wondering if she'll come back. You stop needing closure from someone who never gave you clarity in the first place. You start building something stronger. Your purpose, your peace, your future. And that shift, that moment when your heart finally lets go, she feels it, not right away. At first, she'll tell herself stories. He just needs space. He's still hurting. He'll come back like they always do. But then the days pass and turn into weeks, and you're still silent, still gone, still building, still unbothered. That's when it starts to crack her confidence. That's when the questions creep in. Why hasn't he reached out? Did I misjudge him? Is he actually over me? Wait, did I lose him for good? And that's when regret takes root. But here's the thing, regret isn't loud. It's not a dramatic text or a tearful call. No, regret is quiet. It's restless. It's that late night moment when she scrolls through your profile and sees nothing. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel and lets you know when I upload more content like this. Now, let's get back to the video. It's that unease when she hears your name and wonders if you're with someone else. It's that sharp pang when she realizes you're no longer thinking about her. And the silence, the one she used to find comfort in, now haunts her. Because while she convinced herself she could replace you, she never expected you to walk away. Without looking back, she thought you'd always be there. Now, she's the one stuck in the past, replaying memories, questioning decisions, wondering if she let something real slip through her fingers. And the longer you stay silent, the louder that regret becomes. But this was never about revenge. This was about respect for yourself. This was about freedom. And now, you're free. Free to move forward. Free to grow. Free to find someone who doesn't need to lose you just to see your value. Indifference is power, and it will set you free. There's a moment, a quiet but life-changing shift where everything turns. It's not when you send the perfect text. Not when you try to make her jealous. Not even when you tell yourself you're done. It's the moment you actually stop caring, not pretending, not faking it for show, but truly, deeply letting go. That's when you take your power back. Not just from her, but from every ounce of self-doubt, every loop of overthinking, every sleepless night you gave away for someone who couldn't see your worth. Because as long as she knows she can trigger your emotions, she knows she still has you. If you're watching her stories, if you're reacting to her posts, If you're still checking in, still waiting for a sign, still hoping she comes back, she knows. She knows you're still emotionally invested. And that means she doesn't have to be. There's no urgency for her to miss you, no reason to regret losing you. Because deep down, she still feels like you're available, if and when she wants you. But when that stops, when you stop reacting, when your energy shifts and she senses you've actually moved on, everything changes. Suddenly, the certainty she had starts to crumble. She checks her phone, but there's no message. She posts a picture, and you don't care. She wonders, wait, why isn't he watching anymore? Why hasn't he liked it? Has he forgotten me? And that moment of doubt, that little whisper of uncertainty in her mind, that's where the real power is. Because here's the truth. People value what they can't fully have. Predictability is comforting, but it kills attraction. And when you become unpredictable, when she no longer knows how you feel or what you're thinking, you become rare again. You become valuable again. But here's the trap most guys fall into. They try to act indifferent. They post cryptic captions, hoping she'll bite. They disappear for a day or two, then pop back up to check if she noticed. They force silence like it's some trick to win her attention. But she sees through that. She knows the game. True indifference? You can't fake it. It's not something you act out. It's something you become. And you become indifferent when your focus turns completely inward. When you stop obsessing over her, because you're finally obsessed with your own life. When you stop needing her attention, because you've started giving yourself the attention you deserve. When you stop analyzing her every move, because you're too busy chasing your vision, your peace, your goals. And that's when the dynamic shifts. Now she's uncertain. Now she's questioning everything. Did I make a mistake? Was he better than I realized? Has he already replaced me? Did I lose a man who's actually rare? And here's the twist. By the time she starts to regret losing you, you'll already be gone. Not physically, maybe, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You'll be too far ahead, too grounded in your own growth to look back. Because indifference isn't about playing games. It's not about pretending to be okay. It's about becoming okay. It's about building a life so rich, so focused, so full of purpose that her absence doesn't leave a hole. It leaves an open space for something better. And when you get there, when your heart doesn't flinch at her name anymore, that's when you become the man she never thought you could be, the man she can't control, the man she can't replace, the man she never thought she'd lose until it was too late. She will test you. Don't let it break you. Here's the truth. If you've walked away, if you've gone silent, if you finally started to rebuild your peace, she's gonna test you. And it won't be loud or obvious. There won't be a heartfelt apology. No, I miss you, text at 2 a.m. No grand gesture or emotional breakdown. Her test will be quiet, subtle, almost invisible if you're not paying attention. It might be a random text out of nowhere. Oops, wrong person. Or, hey, hope you're doing okay. She might like a photo you posted months ago, just enough to show up in your notifications. And in that moment, your heart will race. Your mind will light up with possibilities. You'll start to wonder, is she coming back? Is this her way of reaching out? But don't fall for it. That isn't affection. That isn't love. It's a test. She's checking. She's poking. She wants to see, are you still under her spell? Because if you take the bait, if you reply too quickly, if you let your emotions rush back in, if you give her attention again, she knows. She knows she still has access to you. She knows you haven't truly moved on. And in that moment, she regains control. But here's what you need to understand. Most of the time, these tests aren't even planned. She's not sitting there scheming like a movie villain. No, it's instinctual. It's her subconscious trying to figure out, is he really the man I thought he was? Or did I misjudge him? Women test because they want to feel something, clarity, certainty, power. And most men, they fail that test. They think a simple thinking of you message means she's coming back. They get excited. They overthink. They try to act cool while secretly hoping for a second chance. And in doing so, they fall right back into the trap. But the man who's really moved on, the one who's no longer controlled by her breadcrumbs, he doesn't react. Not because he's playing some mind game, not because he's trying to get revenge, but because he's not in the same place anymore. He doesn't need her validation. He doesn't wait for her texts. He doesn't watch her stories or decode her likes. He's too focused on himself, his growth, his goals, his peace, his purpose. And that's when she starts to feel it. That shift, that absence of control. Suddenly, her little tests don't land. Her messages go unanswered. Her attempt to spark curiosity are met with silence. And that silence, it gets loud in her mind. She starts to wonder, why isn't he reacting? Why doesn't he care anymore? Did I really lose him for good? That creeping doubt, it doesn't go away. It grows. Because here's what women truly regret. Not the man who begged, not the one who waited, who chased, who hoped. They regret the one who walked away with dignity, the one who healed, the one who never looked back. So when she tests you, and believe me, she will, remember this. You're not proving anything to her. You're proving something to yourself. Every time you ignore her attempts to reel you back in, you're choosing strength. Every time you resist the temptation to respond, you're reminding yourself you've outgrown her. Every time you stay centered and calm, instead of reacting emotionally, you're showing yourself just how far you've come. Real power isn't about proving you've moved on. It's about becoming so grounded, so fulfilled, and so focused that her games don't even register anymore. That's when you win, not because you beat her, but because you became a man she no longer has the power to break. How to stay emotionally unavailable, and why that's your superpower. She expected you to break. She thought you'd be sitting in the dark, scrolling through old messages, replaying every conversation in your head. She imagined you would drown in regret, stuck in a loop of, what if I just said this? Or maybe if I had done that. She thought you'd be hoping, praying for some miracle text that never comes. But not anymore. Not you. Not now. Because starting today, you are no longer the man who waits. You are no longer the man who obsesses over what was or what might have been. You're not chasing closure. You're not chasing her. You're chasing you. See, emotional unavailability isn't about being cold. It's not about shutting down or pretending you don't feel. It's about creating such a strong relationship with yourself that no one else has the power to shake you. And the first step, stop making her your purpose. That's where so many men fall apart. They make her the center of their world. Every decision, every emotion, every ounce of energy is focused on how to win her back. And in doing that, they lose themselves. Let that sink in. The more you focus on her, the more of yourself you give away. So stop checking her social media. Stop reading between the lines of her latest post. Stop imagining what she's doing, who she's with, and whether she's thinking about you. None of that matters anymore. What matters is you. Start building. Start pouring your energy into something real. Your career, your health, your peace. Wake up a mission that has nothing to do with her and everything to do with reclaiming your own power. Because the man who is locked in on his goals, the man who is so focused on his vision that he forgets to wonder who she's texting, that man becomes unstoppable. He becomes magnetic. He becomes a version of himself he was always meant to be. And here's the twist. This isn't about revenge. It's not about making her jealous or playing some manipulative game. It's about becoming so whole, so fulfilled, so complete that her absence doesn't even leave a dent. And when you reach that place, when your life is full, your days are meaningful, your heart is at peace, she'll feel it. She'll notice you stopped orbiting her world. She'll feel that shift, that undeniable energy that says, he's not mine to reach anymore. And in that moment, the doubt creeps in. Did I underestimate him? Did I lose something rare? Is he really gone? But here's the most powerful part. By the time she asks those questions, you won't even care anymore because you'll be too busy living. You'll be too locked into your passion, your purpose, your peace. You won't have space for her breadcrumbs, her games, or her regrets. And when she tests you, because she will You won't flinch, not because you're faking strength, but because you finally become strong. When she sends that casual message, when she randomly likes your post or brings up an old memory, you won't chase, you won't reply, you won't need to, because your world no longer revolves around her validation. You found something more powerful than her attention. You found yourself. That's what real emotional unavailability looks like. Not silence out of spite, but peace out of power. Not detachment because you're angry, but because you're free. You are no longer the man who needs her to feel whole. You're the man who's already whole, untouchable, unshakable, unbothered. And that, my friend, is a man no one sees coming. But everyone regrets losing. The shift, now she chases you. There's a moment in every man's healing journey where the energy shifts, where the silence starts to speak louder than words, where the absence becomes more powerful than presence, where the man who once chased walks away. And that, my friend, is when everything changes. Because here's the truth. The moment you stop chasing her, she feels it. Not right away, not openly. She might pretend she's unbothered. You'll see the Instagram stories, smiling out with friends, laughing harder than usual. Her captions will say things like living my best life or unbothered energy only. But don't be fooled. That smile, that's a mask. Because underneath it, she's wondering, why isn't he calling? Why hasn't he texted? Why isn't he watching my stories or liking my photos? See, she expected you to fall apart. She expected you to sit with your phone in hand, staring at the screen, waiting for her name to pop up. She expected you to break, to beg, to linger. She expected to still have a hold on you. But now, she feels something different. She doesn't see desperation. She doesn't feel your presence in her orbit anymore, and it confuses her. So she starts asking her mutual friends, "Hey, have you heard from him?" She starts lurking, checking your profile, refreshing your stories, searching for proof that she still matters. But she finds nothing. No vague captions aimed at her. No late-night posts dripping in heartbreak. No signs of a man stuck in the past. That's when it hits her. You're not watching her anymore. You're not playing the game. You're not waiting. And for the first time, she sees it clearly. You've outgrown her. And that's when the real regret creeps in. Not the dramatic kind. Not the cry in the rain, movie scene kind. No, this regret is subtle. Quiet. It comes late at night when everything else is still. It's the whisper in her mind that says, "Did I lose something real? Did I let a good man slip away? What if I can't get him back?" And just like that, the roles reverse. You stop chasing, and she starts. But here's the beautiful part, the most powerful twist of all. By the time she realizes what she lost, you won't even care, because you'll be too focused on your own life, too locked into your growth, your peace, your purpose, too committed to building something real, something lasting with or without her. That's not bitterness. That's not revenge. That's power. Real power doesn't come from proving her wrong. It comes from becoming so strong, so centered, so unshakably you, that her opinion no longer holds weight. And when she sends a breadcrumb, a random message, a like photo, a "Hey stranger" text, you won't bite. Not because you're pretending, not because you're trying to win, but because you've already won. You've mastered yourself. You've reclaimed your energy. And now, her attention no longer holds you hostage. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel and lets you know when I upload more content like this. Now, let's get back to the video. You become the man who no longer needs validation to feel worthy. The man who no longer mistakes her curiosity for love. The man who walks with peace, with purpose, and with quiet confidence. That's the kind of man she remembers. That's the kind of man she can't forget. That's the kind of man who doesn't chase. Because he doesn't have to. So let her wonder. Let her ask around. Let her replay old messages. Try and understand how she lost you. And when she finally realizes the truth, that you were the prize all along, you'll be too far ahead to look back. Because this was never about getting her to regret losing you. It was never about proving you're valuable. It was never about playing games or using silence as a weapon. It was always about you, your growth, your healing, your power. The moment you stopped chasing, the moment you chose peace over pain, silence over desperation, purpose over longing, that was the moment you became unstoppable. Because real strength isn't loud. It's not in the posturing. It's not in pretending not to care. It's in becoming a man who genuinely no longer needs her to feel whole. So keep building, keep leveling up, keep showing up for yourself. Let her regret come. Let her curiosity rise. Let her watch you shine from a distance. Because now, the only thing chasing you is your potential. You were never trying to win her back. You were becoming the man who never had to chase again. And that shift, that quiet, powerful internal shift, is what makes all the difference. Thanks for tuning into Stoic Horizon. If you're ready to keep leveling up, drop a comment. I choose peace over validation. And don't forget, real strength starts within. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and never forget, you were the prize all along. Chapter 7, The Rise, Becoming Untouchable. So now you've made the shift. You stopped chasing. You chose yourself. And now she's feeling your absence like never before. But here's the thing. This isn't the end of the story. This is where it really begins. Because once you stop looking backward, you're finally free to rise. Free to rebuild. Free to evolve. Free to become untouchable. But let's be clear. Being untouchable doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean you shut out love or live with a wall around your heart. It means you're no longer led by emotion. You put logic behind the wheel and passion in the passenger seat. It means your peace can't be hijacked by a text. Your focus can't be shaken by a glance. And your purpose? It moves forward with or without applause. Because here's what most people don't understand. The real glow-up isn't physical. It's mental. The true transformation is invisible. It's the man who wakes up with clarity, who stops seeking closure and starts building his own doors, who no longer needs answers from her because he's found them within. That's the rise. It's the morning you wake up and no longer check your phone for her name. It's the moment you look in the mirror and respect the man staring back. It's when you realize that she wasn't a destination. You were just passing through, and now you're building something permanent, something unshakable. Your mission becomes non-negotiable. Your goals get clearer. Your circle gets tighter. And distractions, including her games, lose their grip. Because when a man is on his path, fully committed, fully present, he becomes rare. He becomes dangerous. He becomes untouchable. And she'll feel that too. She'll see it in your silence. She'll sense it in your stillness. And if she ever tries to come back, she won't find the same man she left. She'll find someone stronger, wiser, peaceful, not bitter, not cold, just done chasing, done proving, done waiting. Because the man who rises doesn't need closure. He creates it. He doesn't seek revenge. He evolves past the need for it. And he doesn't need her to look back because he's already moved forward. That is power. That is the rise. And from here on out, you don't chase. You build. You lead. You become. Because the version of you that once begged for attention, he's gone, buried beneath every hard lesson and quiet victory. The man standing now, he's a result of discipline, detachment, and divine focus. So walk forward, not to prove anything to her, but to become everything you were meant to be. Because once you rise, you'll look back with gratitude, not for the pain, but for the push. She didn't break you. She built you. And now, you're untouchable. Chapter 8, The Throne, Why the Right One Will Never Make You Chase. Let's get something straight right now. The right woman, the one who truly sees you, respects you, values you, she won't make you chase her. Because kings don't chase. They build, they lead, they sit on their throne. And the right queen recognizes that. See, when you were caught up in the wrong one, you were chasing validation. You were running after someone who made love feel like a performance. Someone who only responded when you begged, proved, or played along. But that wasn't love. That was control. That was a woman feeding off your need to be wanted. And you mistook it for chemistry. You thought the highs and lows meant passion, when really, it was just confusion dressed up as connection. But here's what changes everything. The right one doesn't want to confuse you. She wants to build with you. She doesn't breadcrumb. She brings presence. She doesn't test you. She trusts you. She doesn't wait for you to prove yourself, because your energy already speaks for itself. You won't have to decode texts, read between lines, or guess what she's feeling. With the right one, you'll feel safe, not anxious, grounded, not on edge, seen, not sized up. She'll respect your purpose. She'll admire your discipline. She won't try to pull you away from your mission. She'll want to grow beside it, because the right one understands this. A man in his purpose is not a threat. He's a foundation. So when she shows up, she won't compete with your throne. She'll respect it. She'll add to it. She'll pour into your kingdom, not take from it. And here's the twist. Once you've truly risen, once you've built peace within yourself, you won't be attracted to chaos anymore. You won't chase the woman who keeps you guessing. You'll seek and attract the one who brings clarity, because your spirit will recognize peace as power, not silence, not confusion. Peace. The truth is, you were never meant to beg for love. You were meant to stand in your worth and allow love that recognizes it. So sit on your throne. Be the man who's grounded in purpose, not lost in pursuit. Because the right woman, she doesn't want you beneath her, begging. She wants you beside her, building. And when she arrives, you won't need to impress her. You'll just need to be exactly who you become. And that will be more than enough. Chapter 9, the disciplined era, becoming the man you promise yourself. There comes a moment in every man's journey where he stops chasing everything external and starts building from within. That moment, that's when discipline takes the throne, because motivation is fleeting, inspiration fades. But discipline, that's the edge most men never develop. This era you're entering, it's not about proving anything to her, them, or the world. It's about becoming the man you once promised yourself you'd be. The version of you who doesn't fold under pressure, who doesn't disappear when life gets hard, who shows up every single day, even when no one's watching. See, discipline is a foundation of greatness. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's hitting the gym when your body says no, but your future says yes. It's building that business, that craft, that vision, even when the world doubts you. You don't build a powerful life by chance. You build it by choice, by consistency, by showing up again and again and again. Because here's the hard truth. You will be tested, not just by people, but by life, by delay, by distraction, by doubt. There will be days when the old version of you calls out, begging to return to comfort, to the easy route, to short-term pleasure, to emotional chaos disguised as love. But you won't answer that call anymore, because you've outgrown it. You've stepped into your disciplined era now. And in this era, feelings don't run the show, principles do. You eat clean not because it's fun, but because it fuels your focus. You train hard not for vanity, but for strength, for clarity, for resilience. You cut off distractions not to isolate, but to elevate. Discipline is lonely, yes, but loneliness isn't weakness. It's the echo of separation from the average. And the truth is, you weren't made to be average. You weren't made to sit quietly in the stand of your own life. You were made to lead, to build, to rise. So when you wake up tomorrow and your mind whispers, "Take it easy," you answer back, "Not today," because you are no longer the man who waits for permission. You are the man who gives himself commands and keeps them. This is your era now, the disciplined era, where your power multiplies, your mission sharpens, and your emotions serve your purpose, not sabotage it. And when people ask you what changed, you'll smile and say, "I stopped waiting. I started building." Chapter 10, from scarcity to abundance, rewiring the way you love, work, and live. Scarcity is a mindset. It's the belief that there isn't enough, not enough love, not enough opportunities, not enough time. It whispers to you in quiet moments, making you think that you're always in a race against the clock, always behind, always missing out. But abundance? Abundance is a mindset too. And the moment you decide to shift from scarcity to abundance, you'll notice something. The entire world begins to shift around you. When you live in scarcity, you chase, you beg, you hope, you fight for every scrap of attention, validation, and success. And what happens when you do that? You're constantly in a cycle of need. You're never fulfilled because you're always waiting for something outside of you to fill that void. But here's the truth. The moment you embrace abundance, you realize something powerful. You don't need to chase anything. You don't need to fight for love, success, or validation, because you already have everything you need. Inside of you, you're abundant in energy, abundant in purpose, abundant in strength. You have the power to create your own opportunities, to attract the right people into your life, to manifest a life you've always dreamed of. And this abundance doesn't come from a place of arrogance or entitlement. It comes from a place of deep self-belief. When you believe that you are worthy, deserving, and capable of everything you desire, the universe starts to work for you, not against you. In relationships, the shift is magnetic. You stop seeking approval or attention from others because you already approve of yourself. You stop fearing rejection because you know that your value doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion of you. You stop chasing love because you understand that love isn't something you find. It's something you attract. In your work, abundance transforms how you approach challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, to expand. You stop stressing about what others are doing because you're too focused on your own path. And you know there's enough room at the top for everyone. This shift from scarcity to abundance also transforms how you live. You stop living in fear of the future because you trust that whatever comes your way, you'll be able to handle it. You stop wasting energy on regrets or what-ifs because you know your past is a lesson, not a sentence. The most powerful thing about living in abundance, it's that you stop living in competition. You stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that no one else can be you. Your journey is yours alone, and there's no one who can take that from you. Abundance isn't just about getting more things. It's about recognizing that you already have everything you need, and that you're capable of so much more than you ever realized. So, from this moment on, stop living in scarcity. Stop looking around at what everyone else has and thinking there's not enough for you. There's more than enough. When you start living with this mindset, the abundance mindset, you'll see the world open up. Doors you never imagined will open. People you never thought would show interest will be drawn to you. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will suddenly feel within your grasp. It all starts with your belief in your own abundance. When you step into that, you step into your power. And when you step into your power, you stop just surviving. You start thriving. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. Also, turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. See you in the next one.